Live from New York. I can't hear anything.
This guy.
The show I can't hear anything, now I can.
There we go.
Dusty, I'm sorry.
Somebody wasn't ready.
This guy.
That's why.
Yesterday, you know what? I can't be mad. Yesterday, the same thing happened to me. I didn't even hit the table in time. You guys said I was on tilt.
You were on tilt.
Are you, maybe, you know, what's good for the goose, good for the gander. Are you a little nervous?
No.
Get a little nervous?
I'm not nervous at all. You are projecting.
I'm not talking about the game. I'm talking about the public reception on Friday.
Oh, my.
I think he's nervous. I'm used to people.
I'm beloved in Kansas City. If the good people of Kansas City would rather hear falsehoods, which I don't think they want to hear.
There you go.
Maybe I'll just go out here and be like, hey, you know what? We won the Super Bowl. Like, that's not what it's about. Hey, we were scoring touchdowns when Sirianni wasn't covered in Gatorade.
There we go. It's that. Honest to God, you think.
But did that happen?
No,
or not?
but it happened. But you have emphasized it more. Tell me if this is fair, Brew, than literally the rest of the media combined. Wild's talking about that. That was a choice.
Hubs
that
feeds
was a
me.
choice.
Hubs feeds me.
Don't blame Hubs.
I don't think it's all Hubs.
Here's
Don't
what Hubs
blame
just said in my ear.
See, here we go.
Come to the show on Friday. The Royals are out of town. You can save $2.
See, that's
Not nice. America's Game of the Week, Eagles and Arrowhead. Philly riding a 2-game win streak against Kansas City. Mahomes, here's an interesting thing, literally never lost 3 in a row.
Yeah.
Here's the current streak of didn't lose 3 straight, not current. Mahomes has the longest streak to start a career, and it is currently happening.
Yes.
The other 3 guys, Brady's got 300, Montana 178, Steve Young 137, then Mahomes. So history could be made Sunday at Arrowhead.
Wow.
So is that, and what are the chances the Eagles not only beat Mahomes, but repeat their blowout?
Okay, so it's obviously there's a chance the Eagles win. Like that, I think it'd be ridiculous for anyone to guarantee a win for either of these teams. You know, I think these are 2 good teams, neither of which probably feel great. Obviously, the Chiefs don't feel great, but I don't think the Eagles feel great about how they opened their seasons.
Yeah.
And so the game is, I don't think it's a coin flip, but it is, you can make a reasonable argument on either side. But there is no argument for the Chiefs getting blown out. You just showed it. He started 134 games.
Yeah.
Forget blown out. He has been beaten by more than a touchdown 6 times. And, like, you can go through it. The only ones that kind of came in bunches was week 5 against Buffalo. They lost by 18. And then the single oddest game of Mahomes' career, a 27-3 loss to Tennessee that dropped them to 3-4 after the Super Bowl blowout. And the sky was falling in Kansas City, and they did end up having their worst season since Mahomes has been there. They only made it to overtime in the AFC Championship game that year. And so the Kansas City got blown out for a litany of reasons in the Super Bowl, but the biggest one was the Eagles could consistently create pressure without bringing a blitz.
Yeah.
He was blitzed the fewest times ever in his career, 0, and sacked the most times ever in his career, 6. This Eagles team, I don't believe at this moment can do that, and I think this Chiefs offensive line is in better shape than it was in the Super Bowl. I know they don't have Joe Thuney, but in the Super Bowl they didn't really have Joe Thuney because he was playing out of position. And so Jawan Taylor is an odd player to discuss because his penalties are crippling. The plays in which he does not commit false starts or get illegal formation, he's a very good blocker. You know what I mean? So like it doesn't lead typically to the sacks. So I think it would be silly to anticipate something that happens once every 20 games to Mahomes in his career to happen that quickly in succession. And by the way, blown out, he hasn't been blown out 6 times. He's been blown out 4 times. He's lost by more than 7 points 6 times.
Yeah, I certainly don't see what happened in the Super Bowl repeating itself. I mean, what was that, 37-0 or 34?
34.
34.
No, it was 34-0 to start.
I don't see that. I could see a 14-point win, and that, which is technically a blowout.
That's a blowout.
I wouldn't see it. I don't mean it would be just a rout, but I could see Philadelphia winning comfortably. One, I do think they're the better team. They've beaten the Chiefs, 2 straight games? This obviously would be 3 straight. And I think you made some good points. But without Xavier Worthy, assuming he doesn't play.
He's definitely not. I'll go ahead and report he's not playing this week.
All right, I don't think without him that they'll be able to exploit what is a weakness for the Eagles. Now, you're right. If they don't get any pass rush and Jalen Carter back, I know he's not, he's interior lineman, he's not a ton of sacks, but he should put pressure on Mahomes.
But that's where the Chiefs' best 2 offensive linemen are.
Right.
You know what I mean?
If he can't do that, I still don't think the Chiefs will just exploit that defensive backfield of Philly without Xavier Worthy. All right, it might be some quick pass, dink and dunk, a lot of stuff underneath. And then I think Mahomes also has not played well. I mean, for him, has not played well against Philadelphia. The last 2 games, here's a graphic of his last 2 games against the Eagles. 0-2, 81 passer rating, 60% completions, 5 touchdowns, 4 turnovers. And those numbers are much better because of what happened late in the Super Bowl. If you cut it off at, the third quarter, it would have been much worse. Those are his worst numbers, at least the record, obviously. But the completion percentage against any opponent that they've played 2 or more times.
Can I ask a question about the 2-game losing streak piece? Mm-hmm. Because this is something I mentioned to Wilds in his office, and I do think it's relevant to this discussion. How much weight at all should we put in the first game of the 2-game losing streak when we realize that Eagles team, that was their last game before the supernatural funk.
Right.
It was 2 defensive coordinators ago. It was an entire starting defense ago. Like all those guys, you know what I mean? And so
I think Chiefs, a lot personally. Because you still got Sirianni, you still got Jalen Hurts. And they went into Kansas City and beat the Chiefs.
But that's,
like that, the Chiefs have been so good and so unbeatable for the most part that anytime a team can beat them regularly, that's why the Bengals still roll. Joe Burrow still gets credit for beating the Chiefs in the playoffs because we hardly ever see it. That's why I think it's still relevant.
So I think it's relevant to the Eagles' chances in the game. But when you show Mahomes' struggles, to me, have nothing to do with Jalen Hurts and nothing to do with Sirianni. Like you showing Mahomes' numbers. And so I think the Super Bowl is super relevant. Same defensive coordinator, a lot of the same defensive players. The Chiefs are very similar. The other Eagles win was, as far as a timeline goes, far closer to them losing to the Chiefs in the Super Bowl than it was to today. You know what I mean? It was the 20.
Yeah, but he didn't play well against them in a game that was in the balance when usually.
Yeah, that was the game MVS had the drop at the end and they freaked out.
Not nothing, but a little bit of something. I wanted to get your take on my take, in general take, that it doesn't feel like the Chiefs are perfectly aligned. A little bit of Travis Kelce and Xavier Worthy getting their lines
And you saw
crossed,
Kelce on that today?
And Kelce said it was his fault.
Yeah.
Okay. And then at the end, Chris Jones and Drew Tranquill kind of jawing at each other for what was maybe hero ball. Similar to what Brew was saying pre-Super Bowl.
Well, the mystique?
That the mystique was off, but Gronk is your poker buddy.
No, I love Gronk. I just think this is where sometimes Chiefs conversations are difficult for me because I just remember that every individual moment of the last 7 years better than I think most people because it's my team and this is my job. Like, this was the exact conversation post Tampa Bay Super Bowl. And by the way, that team started off that year 3-4. That team got blown out by Buffalo, and then that Tennessee game was that year. They then, after that Titans game, when they were 3-4 and had lost 5 of their last 8, including in 3 blowouts, ripped off 10 of their next 11, made it back to the AFC Championship game, lost in overtime, and then made it to the next 3 Super Bowls, winning 2 of them. So, like, and I also feel like the conversation around the Chiefs last season was the mystique is, you know what I mean? Where
I felt like, at least my conversation last year, was that their mystique is helping them win these games.
Okay, all right.
I agree with Gronk.
I thought people were saying they're not afraid of him anymore.
I thought the fact that they were still somehow winning just increased their mystique. Look, I don't necessarily agree with the punching. The Chiefs have had battles. You know, they've been punched in the mouth and responded and all that. So I don't agree with that. But I do agree with the mystique lessening. Like, the Chargers still, I mean, they came out there. The fact that they threw the ball so much, that was really interesting to me. And that I just felt like the Chargers. Now, Harbaugh has never been afraid of the Chiefs. Obviously, he's talked this stuff that we're going to win multiple Super Bowls and all that. But I just think what Philly did to them in the Super Bowl, what the Chargers just did to them, if the Eagles aren't afraid of them, clearly, if they beat them handily, then I think that mystique really might be gone.
I would like to, we usually do this off the air. I will do it on the air. I would like tomorrow us to do the flip side of this topic. An Eagles team that did not look, in my opinion, the way they hoped they would in week one. Sure. If they lose to the Chiefs when the Chiefs don't have Rice or Worthy and they have a suspended player who's actually not suspended, so they are full strength, you know what I mean? What concern do we have for Philadelphia? Because I think that is, if Philly was without Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown, you know, and the Chiefs full strength, and they won that game, we would say that is even if the Chiefs were 1-0 going into it, a massive concern for Kansas City. Question. And so I think that's a fair.
I think the difference, though, Nick,
is they're the champs. I mean, they're the defending champs.
But you're looking at it like there's a double standard, and you're right. The Chiefs are judged by a different standard than everybody else. Even though the Eagles just won the Super Bowl, they haven't had a dynasty. They're not, you know what I'm saying? Yep. They don't have the best quarterback we've ever seen. So somebody that's in the GOAT conversation. So I think there is there is a double standard.
It's good, though. I think we should do it.
No, that's fine.
Dusty, put that in the rundown for tomorrow. A little game of hypothetical now. If the Eagles do win, and if Jalen Hurts, who is currently 2-2 against Mahomes, wins a game, what would that mean? So here is the list of quarterbacks with the best record against Patrick Mahomes, who we have described as the benchmark for excellence in the NFL. Burrow is 3-2. Tom Brady, thank you for putting him in a Patriots uniform, 3-3. Jalen Hurts, 2-2. Could be 3-3 on.
Could be 3-2. Can't be 3-3.
Could be 3-2 by Sunday night. So I know you guys are mad at me because you want me to ask the question and answer it.
Yeah, you answer.
I think it's an interesting question.
No, but hold on. The reason it's interesting is because yesterday you on the air flirted with, and then as soon as we went to commercial, made the commitment to the take of, if he wins, he's better. And so I'm asking you now, what do you think it would mean? And then I will give my answer.
I think if Jalen Hurts wins this game, it will be time to start talking about Jalen Hurts being the best quarterback in the NFL. It's time to have that conversation.
Okay.
When you can only win so many games in a row. I believe he's won, Josh, is it 15? He won 15.
If you take out the concussion game, it's 15 in a row.
So he's won 15 straight games, including the Super Bowl. He's on the graphic that we joke around about, but he's on the graphic with all-time greats. If you view the goal as to win the game by any means necessary, if he beats Mahomes and is now on another list, and it's not like, he's winning these games without great performances against Mahomes. He performs great against Mahomes, the same way Burrow does. Then he belongs in the conversation of, is this guy the best quarterback in the NFL? I'm not saying it's without a shadow of a doubt. I'm not saying he's got to be in the conversation with Lamar, Josh.
It's a definitive top five.
And then you're in. Let's kick it around.
And certainly, if the schedule had broken where they weren't playing in the regular season, but this was this year's Super Bowl, and he won it, it would even more cement your
yes.
So the question I have is this, because my life would have been better if I knew you 10 years ago, 15 years ago, but I didn't, sadly. Did you ever feel, truly, that Eli Manning was better than Tom Brady?
No.
So Eli Manning was on a 3-game winning streak against Brady where he outplayed him in all the games. 2 of those were the Super Bowl. We can show you those games.
MVP.
In none of those games, certainly not in 07, did people feel like Eli had the better team. They were 2 touchdown underdogs. And I think the reason you didn't feel that way was because, yes, and by the way, Brady wasn't 1 year removed from winning a Super Bowl. He was 8 years removed from winning a Super Bowl when they walked off the field in 2011. And the reason you didn't feel like he was better was not only just because of how you felt, but because their career resumes were not at all similar. And we can show them to you, like, yep, it was 5-2 and 3-2, MVPs 2-0, Super Bowl MVPs even, Pro Bowl 7-2, first team All Pros 2-0. So to which I would say, if Jalen Hurts and beats Patrick tomorrow, here's what their career resumes look like. He will have lost to him in one Super Bowl and beat him in one. Patrick has the same or better than Brady in every single category, and Jalen has the same or worse than Eli in every single category. So why? Why is it that when it was your guy and Tom Brady, it was a ludicrous question, and now when it's Jalen Hurts, it is, I'm just asking the question?
You think that's for me?
You want to wave the white flag?
I want to do the exact opposite.
Oh, wow.
I just set a nice little trap that you guys walked into.
I haven't walked into
Because there's a lot of lists out there. Jalen Hurts is not a top 10 quarterback. Jalen Hurts is number 13.
Whose list?
I don't know, lists that I've seen. That Jalen Hurts is the third. Jalen Hurts won the Super Bowl on the ESPN list and is listed as the 39th best player. Is it Steven Ruiz?
Oh, Steven Ruiz's quarterback list. But
he wasn't top 10. That's all. I am not saying he is definitively better than Patrick Mahomes. I said we need to have a conversation about it. And if you were making a graphic and saying, hey, let's talk. Exactly right. What you just did, exactly.
Hold on.
Let's have a conversation about him being the best quarterback.
I have to tell you, Steven Ruiz does a great podcast.
Yeah.
He's a pal of mine.
Yeah.
I can get you a guest spot on it if you want to argue with him about his Jalen Hurts take. If you want to
you're arguing with me about Eli Manning. I didn't even mention Eli Manning.
No. I'm asking you. So here's the thing.
So you said who does it, and I told you.
No.
Correct? Is that what just happened?
Yeah.
I said he's not. I said people have not top 10. You said
I
answered.
Okay.
And then you're like,
no. But you just said that if he wins this game, there needs to be a discussion. Is he the best quarterback in football?
Yes.
I then asked you, when Eli did what you're talking about, except it was in 2 Super Bowls that he won both and outplayed Brady in both, you would not have that discussion then.
Correct.
So why?
Because I'm not interested in talking about Eli Manning versus Tom Brady right now.
No,
to be 100% honest, I'm in this lane, and you're trying to take me on an exit ramp to Tom Brady and Eli Manning.
I'm asking, Bruce,
I want to be in top 5.
I'm saying why is the standard now different than it was for your?
I don't think Eli Manning and Jalen Hurts are comparable players.
Why?
I think one is insanely mobile. I think one guy won half his games and one guy wins 70% of his games. I think they're totally different players.
But of course they're different players, but your whole thing is, does he leave the field with the trophy?
Does he do that in the regular season? Has Eli Manning ever put a string together of 16 straight wins?
No.
No. Is Eli Manning a immobile quarterback?
Well,
yes.
He was, yes.
Eli was Joe
500 in the regular season.
I just don't think they're comparable. And I'm also not interested in having that conversation. I'm interested in having the conversation of, if he wins on Sunday, we need to have a conversation of who's the best quarterback. Everybody can have a representative at the table. Jalen Hurts needs to be at the table. He can't be excluded from it anymore like everyone wants to put him, like Justin Herbert's in the conversation.
Oh, I don't think Herbert's in the conversation.
Should Jalen Hurts be in the conversation?
For the best quarterback in the NFL, no.
Look, I hear you in that Hurts is
to be in the top 5, yes.
much better than Eli was.
To be the best.
Well, no.
To answer your question, because it could become relevant, those graphics you threw up with Eli and Brady could become relevant if Jalen wins the Super Bowl. If he wins this game, no, I still don't think he's in the discussion for best quarterback in the league. I think the path for him to get there is to win this Super Bowl. Not 2 years from now, maybe then, but for him to get there, he has to win this Super Bowl and be the Super Bowl MVP. Now.
Well, I don't know that he has to be Super Bowl MVP, but if they win the Super Bowl.
We're talking about an individual thing to say he's better. But say if he wins the Super Bowl. I would still not say he's better historically than Mahomes. But now, in this moment, Tom Brady was not the best quarterback every single year or even stretches of his career. I think we would be in a stretch where it would be fair then to say, yeah, Mahomes is in the GOAT conversation or whatever. Right now, Jalen Hurts is the best quarterback.
I kind of view it like that. I kind of view it like a heavyweight championship belt.
And so
you might be a better boxer.
Yeah.
We could be in the same generation, but he's got the belt.
No, I
That's
think
how
if they win the Super Bowl this year, and I don't think he has to win the Super Bowl MVP, that to me is what you can gain by becoming the third back-to-back Super Bowl champion of this century versus what you can gain Sunday, September 14th are, to me, drastically different things. I think your frustration with me is I think you think that I think he's ineligible for it. And I don't think he's ineligible for it.
Okay.
But I think that there is nothing he can do this month or next month that's going to make me, if you put me on a lie detector, say he's better than Josh Allen, much less Patrick Mahomes.
My issue, and I'll turn it to you, bro. My issue is like, you know when he would be the best? If he got to the Super Bowl and won it again, which to me sounds unfair. And granted, Josh and Lamar have MVPs, which I respect. But those guys can collectively go to 0, but Jalen Hurts has to go to 3 just to get in the conversation.
Well, I think,
and I know they put up great individual numbers.
That's a big part of it. I mean,
I know, but it just feels unfair. Like you got to go to 3 Super Bowls, and then we can start talking about it.
Go ahead, bro.
A lot of that depends on what you do in the regular season. Like even in the NBA, if your regular season numbers aren't fantastic, you're never in the MVP discussion. You win the finals, people aren't going to say you're the best player in the world.
What about Jimmy Butler?
Right.
If Jimmy Butler had won whatever the last finals he was in against Denver, was it? You know what I mean? And it's like, listen, I'm not ready to call him best player in the world. But if they go back to back, I will. And it's like, hold on a second.
Right.
Like, why is he ahead of? And so,
real quickly too, Wilds, we have to admit. I mean, as much as we give the quarterbacks all the credit, it's a team game, and Jalen's team is much better surrounding him. He's got the better receivers. When you're talking about Mahomes,
right now,
better offensive line, better running game, defense. You can argue.
Right now, they have the better roster.
He's got the far, offensively, he's got far more support.
And so I'm going to give you.
I think you got to look at that too.
But I do think Jalen is. I do think
you don't think he's got far more?
I do. I don't think as good as the Ravens.
I agree, and that's something that Lamar is going to have to answer for because he's got tons of talent around.
I mean, I actually disagree, but that's fine. Saquon and Derrick Henry are a coin flip, and I would take the Eagles every other spot on offense. Certainly receiver, certainly offensive line. You know what I mean? So but that's sidebar. Brew has used the Terry Bradshaw comp, which I understand, but I've never fully subscribed to. I will use, and this is a compliment, the Russell Wilson comp. Because had he not thrown that interception, had they won that Super Bowl, that would have been enough for people to be like, you know what? I can't quite explain it.
No, he was great.
But that guy, he's been here in the league 3 years. He's won 2 Super Bowls. Like this one, he played Brady. You know what I mean? Outdueled and won a duel.
Was anybody going to say at that point he's the best quarterback
I think
in the league?
had they won, he would have been in the discussion like you want Jalen Hurts to be.
Yes.
And I'm
it's
saying, but it wasn't.
See how that
but it would not
out.
have been that year. I don't know their schedule. If they had beaten, Peyton again in the regular season, it's like, okay, well, he beat him in the Super Bowl, he beat him in the regular season. That wasn't enough.
Must win Wednesday. It's week 2, but it's getting late early. Is it a long season, or is it already a must win? First up, 0-1 Giants in Dallas. Both teams looking for their first win. Bodes well for the Cowboys. Dak currently has 13 straight wins against the G-Men. Brady is on every graphic. And Steve Young.
Steve Young's
the most underrated quarterback in NFL history. Well, maybe to Patrick Mahomes, but these days. But yeah, Steve Young certainly had been.
Brew, this is open-ended. Must win? This is scored, by the way, Greg. Brew is the reigning. No, you're the reigning champion.
Wait, I think I'm the.
What's this in our ears? What is it?
What is it? Wow. No, I know what that means. It's shocking that it's coming so early in the season. This is not the rare double must-win. You know, I've gone there before.
Yeah.
That's rare.
That was
This is the extremely rare must-win and a half. Here's why. It's a must-win for the Cowboys. We all know why, right? You got a lot of moments. They got a moral victory. I know people don't want to claim it as a moral victory. Yeah. They got a moral victory, so the vibes are great in Dallas right now, even though they lost to Philadelphia. If they lose to the hapless New York Giants, hapless, they're the worst team in the division outside of the Cowboys, then they lose all of those vibes.
Yeah.
They lose all of it. So we know why it's a must-win for the Cowboys. And they're at home, you can't lose that game. But it is also, the half comes in here. It is also a must-win for Russell Wilson. And since he's an individual player, it's only a half. So it's not the double.
That's why you played the
I mean, I don't make up the rules. That's just how, when you haven't heard it before because it's almost unprecedented. All right? And so Russ, this could be the last start of his career. If he could get benched at halftime if it goes south.
At half, that'd be half.
So it is the rare. I don't know if you guys understand the gravity of this. Have you ever seen a must-win and a half?
Really?
Bro, I'm just telling you, you're really, here's the other thing that happened. Greg threw out his IMDb resume yesterday on the table, and Brew tried to take his corners back as the actor on the show with the, what's that? What? Oh, and I'm just saying, I think it threw you off. I just think Greg has your own
I'm not here to make, I'm not trying to get style points.
Oh.
I'm just telling you the truth.
Okay,
I'm gonna say
it's a must-win.
I'm gonna say what you probably should have said, which it's a double must-win. Simple. It's a double must-win. When you look at the Dallas Cowboys, they don't lose to this team. With or without Dak. We saw Dak up there, but this team doesn't lose to the New York Giants. And we saw what the vibes were. We had no expectation of this Dallas Cowboy team. Once we saw Michael was gone and departed, oh, you know what? Chalk it up. You're not making the playoffs. You're not going to even probably be competitive Thursday when we see you for the first time. You know what? They were. Now we're kind of like, can Dak actually do something with this team? You can't follow that up with a loss against the Giants. And on the flip side, it's a must-win for the Giants. When you look at just Brian Daboll is sitting there already with quarterback controversy and indecision right there in front of him because of your quarterback that you're talking about, a half a win, because of Russell Wilson. And you look at this team, they were 0-6 in the division last year. They haven't won a division game since 2023. You look at your schedule, and the next week, you got Kansas City Chiefs. Then you got the Chargers. And you're like, when is this team going to get a win? I know you got the Saints. You're hoping that you'll be able to beat the Saints. But then you continue to look at the schedule, and you're like, well, will they even win a game?
Okay.
Oh, my God.
You guys are, sadly, I would love to support you. But sadly, you guys are both wrong for including the Giants in this because the Giants season does not start until Jackson Dart takes the field. Brian Daboll's job will be determined by how Jackson Dart looks. So it is only about the Cowboys, and it is not a must-win for the Cowboys. It is a must-dominate for the Cowboys. The only way to turn the momentum from whatever momentum you could have gotten from a loss in week 1 to the Eagles, because, like Bruce said, moral victory, was if you show that offensive performance that you showed flashes of is for real, that their running game is for real, that their offensive line against this defensive front is for real, and CeeDee Lamb can redeem himself. So the Cowboys winning 24-21 doesn't do a lot of good for them. The Cowboys winning 31-10 makes you like, oh, could have beaten Philly if CD catches the ball, annihilate the Giants. It's a must dominate for Dallas. Thank you for the point, KW.
I hate to break it to you guys.
Oh, he backed up what I said. He put Russell Wilson on the hot seat.
Brew, the world put Russell Wilson.
Greg, you were like the Eagles without Micah. You saw an opening, you're like, I'm going to waltz to victory here. And then you had the schedule up. You're like, they're going to go 0-7.
He blew it with the 0-7. If you had the point at that point, that's when you lost.
I didn't say they were going to
You're like,
we're not going to get to the other ones.
You
Keep
got
going.
the Saints
Hey,
beaten.
and guys, you got to go a lot faster on these last
Brew's
three.
doing bits. Greg, you're up next, week 2. But
Fourth effort. I thought the judge would respect that.
Jags in Cincinnati. Now, this is the opposite. Both of these teams are 1-0. Joe Burrow's explosive offense gained 7 yards in the second half of week 1. But Burrow is great outside of his division. Against his division opponents, 7-9. Non-division opponents, 20-8, 60 touchdowns, and only 14 interceptions. Is this a must-win for Joe Burrow?
Yeah, this is a must-win for Joe Burrow. This is a must-win for the team, for that offense. When we think about this team, we simply think about them offensively. We don't even think about, what they'll look like defensively. But what they did not look like last week was a great, dominant offensive unit with quarterback Joe Burrow at the helm and these 2 great receivers that are now both under contract. We saw none of that pop like we were talking about prior to the season starting. And so now you got the Jacksonville Jaguars coming off a win against the Carolina Panthers. You feel like your offense at home has to make some type of noise, despite what your defense may look like. Offensively, it better look good, and you got to get a win.
I know the judge is unlikely to reward me for this, but it is absolutely not a must-win because the Jags are a legitimately good team. And
You couldn't go against the Jags like that.
No, I'm saying it is only being put as a must-win because it's like, oh man, you looked bad against Cleveland, and then what if you lose to Jacksonville? Well, about 11 teams are going to lose to Jacksonville this year. So that's not going to, I guess not 11 teams because they're going to beat some teams twice, most notably probably our Titans. And so no, it's not a must-win for the Bengals. It is noteworthy to me, however, that in Greg's summer allegory he was painting, where he is the Bengals offense and I am the Bengals defense, and where we know he's going to fight and I didn't. Hey, buddy, I prevented you from getting your ass kicked on Sunday. You better thank me. I was letting you know right now.
Good callback.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
I didn't count on getting this point, but I'll take it. Yeah, absolutely a must-win. I said it with gusto. Greg danced. Joe Burrow, it's a must-win. Nick was just flat out wrong. It's an absolute must-win. They are already feeling terrible in Cincinnati. Terrible. Yeah. All right? But the thing that makes it feel a little better is at least we won. At least we won. And I know Nick's talking all that jazz about the Jags being good. They but still, that's not a good team. Joe Burrow, Trevor Lawrence didn't light it up. What did he throw for a 74 passer rating against Carolina?
They dominated Carolina.
You lose to that Jags team. All right? Now, all that stuff in the offseason. We gotta start out fresh. We gotta start out strong. It is right there for you on a platter. All right? You can be 2-0. But you lose to the Jags, and now you're 1-1, which is better than normal.
I said the same thing, bro. Thanks.
No, I'm just saying. I said it with my chest.
You got it.
Greg up there dancing around it.
You got it.
Man, you gotta say it with some.
Brew, you might be better in like a looser offense. You know what I'm saying?
I'm like Mahomes. I'm Mahomes. I'm backyard football. I make it happen.
Like you're
but I'm on schedule.
Like otherwise,
you're
you're like
good on schedule.
You're like,
more
then
like
ring the
Caleb.
bell. I don't know if that's gonna work. Next up, Patriots in Miami. Ugh. Battle in the AFC basement. Pass defense is week 1. Not good. Diced up by Geno and Daniel Jones, who is good. Both completed over 70% of their throws.
Geno had 9 20-yard completions.
I thought that was a mistake.
Geno is chucking that thing downfield, man.
Wow.
Some of them wide open.
That is impressive.
That's why he got a lot of yards. All right, several huge plays.
Yeah.
Is this this is just must-win, question mark.
Oh, it's a must-win for not only the Patriots, but the Patriots media consortium, led by Kevin Wildes, Bill Simmons, my pal Greg Rosenthal, all of whom all offseason talked about Drake May like, oh, he's a known quantity. Like we got the quarterback. Travion Henderson, did you see his kick return in early August?
Well,
that position's fixed for sure. Offensive coordinator, have you not seen Josh McDaniels, in high definition? Not really. And obviously, everything that went wrong last year is Mike Vrabel's fault, Gerard Mayo's fault, and Mike Vrabel will fix it, even though some of those people loved Gerard Mayo and didn't want them to fire him. They were so convincing that otherwise level-headed folks were like, you know what? I think that team might be able to sneak into the playoffs. You lose to the Dolphins, whose coach is going to press conferences and literally being like, well, on the bright side, we're one day closer to death. I think you're in trouble. So, yeah, it's a must-win. Oh, no. See, we got
You know what? I knew something. He's like, I didn't plan on getting this point, but because he thinks this is a good bit. Oh, Greg, get ready, because this is going to bomb.
I'm shocked. At week 2, and we are already on 2 virtually unprecedented situations. You were close. You were like Greg. You did say it with your chest, but you didn't finish it. You didn't knock the guy out when you had him dazed and confused and on the ropes. All right? You are right. And you almost stole my thunder. This is I've never seen this before. Okay. I've never seen this one before. It's hence the sirens. I can't even say rare. The unprecedented quadruple must win.
Wow.
Quadruple. Nick was close.
Yeah, what is it?
So obviously a must win for the Patriots.
1.
You missed it. It's a must win for the Dolphins, too. The coach on the hot seat.
We've seen that
Best
before.
player might get traded.
Yep.
The quarterback's about to lose the locker room. And then you came close, the media. You two. 3 and 4. Quadruple must win. Because y'all picked the Patriots to make the playoffs.
Yes.
So, Nick, you were close. You almost stole my thunder. You need titles, though. You didn't call it anything. You just, the media, the people, the media, you know.
Oh, I like that.
Quadruple must win.
All right, Greg.
And you cannot lose. I got to finish.
Greg.
The Patriots cannot lose to the Rocksteady crew.
Again. That's a nice. Oh, and
they cannot lose
really worked at
to the Rocksteady. That's the Rocksteady crew.
Rocksteady,
They're some of the best breakdancers ever. Legendary. The Dolphins. Who was it that said the Dolphins don't practice like us? This is how the Dolphins practice. Mike Vrabel's whole reputation is I'm rough and I'm tumble. All right, I'm rough and I'm tumble. You can't lose to this.
Greg.
You can't lose to that.
Man, I can't lose to that. Like this is
you want to continue.
He did work hard on that.
Yeah, he worked very hard, almost too much. Look, it's simple. This is a must-win for the Patriots.
Okay.
It's really simple. The NFL fandom world at large, outside of myself, watched what happened last week to the Dolphins. They saw Daniel Jones and the Indianapolis Colts whoop. I'm talking about bend them over, pap, pap. Whoop the Miami Dolphins. And now all of a sudden you got the Patriots coming and we saw them get beat up and hard hat lunch pail Mike Vrabel. Man, we can't beat this squad. We just saw it. I don't care who you are, everybody in there.
Give me my points.
Everybody's thinking the same thing.
Give me my bonus
They just lost to Daniel Jones and the Indianapolis Colts. We can't
Dusty,
lose
this is the last one, or we have one more?
No, it's over.
That's the bonus one, too.
This is the money ball.
This ain't even
Greg,
close.
unfortunately, has stolen the bank.
What?
I just
What?
Okay.
There is no way.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.